This is despite over 10,000 trained graduates from the colleges of education and other tertiary institutions awaiting employment. The association's national president, Prosper Tichi, addressed the press in Ashanti region on Wednesday.
The association has taken note of the decision by government to recruit over 7,000 teachers, as against the over 100,000 qualified teachers from the colleges of education and other tertiary institutions. This is not only disturbing but unfortunate in the light of the promise made by the ministry or the Minister for Finance during the 2025 base pay negotiations, and the promise was to recruit more workers, which includes teachers, into the public sector. In view of the threat of unemployment to the national security, the National Council of the Ghana National Association of Teachers demands an astronomical increase in the number to be recruited, and also calls on government to ensure that those who completed their training earlier get the opportunity before those who completed later.
That was the national president for the Ghana National Association of Teachers, Prosper Tichi, there. Now, away from that, the Ghana Journalists Association says it will head to the Supreme Court to challenge what it describes as the growing abuse of Electronic Communications Act by security agencies to target journalists. The move follows increasing concerns within the media fraternity over arrest and intimidation of journalists under the provisions of law, particularly relating to false communication offences. Speaking during a media encounter between journalists and personnel from the National Security, the GJ president, Albert Jumfo, argued that the trend amounts to a form of censorship that undermines press freedom and constitutional protections.
An enactment by Parliament. And even the act, when we read the detail, the act itself, and I hope there are lawyers here, the act were not made for journalists or individuals. But we only pick section 76 of the act on false communications. And even the section 76 itself is clear that it's not meant for journalists. This act has been used as the hunting, what we call act in going after journalists. When journalists slipped, they said false news publication. Even today, even on individual and personal level, with somebody an issue with somebody and attack the person personally, they said false news publication.
And that was the president of the Ghana Journalists Association, Albert Jumfo. Then finally, the Ghana Education Service has warned against examination malpractice ahead of this year's West African Senior High Certificate Examination and the Basic Education Certificate Examination. Monday, May 4, marks the beginning of both the West African Senior Secondary Certificate Examination and the Basic Education Certificate Examination. Now, over the years, examination malpractice has plunged many centers, with some students having their result cancelled as a result. At a high-level meeting held in Ashimota Senior High School, the authorities issued a strong warning over the growing concern. That brings us to the end of the news update here on 3FM 92.7. For more news, please check our website at 3news.com. I am Enyonam Haligah. AJ comes your way with Relaunch.